morning, my brothers and sisters. On this, the first GMG TV episode since the forming of the GMGU. This, of course, is the Good Morning Guys podcast, and we are going to be talking about the first episode of Marvel's She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. Thank you so much for joining us, dear joiner, on this fine morning, afternoon, evening, or night. I am one of your hosts, the transition transponster, Lucas Ham Swisher. Also with me, the judge, the jury, and the executioner of any show about nothing, Patrick Novosel.
Good morning to you.
To his left and my right, but only in spirit. The man may not be superstitious, but he is a little stitious. Ronnie Johantis. And our final member of the GMG Quadfecta, the guy who's got Kevin Conroy's Batman in his heart, Mark Hamill's Joker laugh on his brain, and mulligatawny soup in his old stomacho, Mark Boucher.
Wait, what?
Fact.
Wait, hold on. Is that from Groundhog Day?
It does sound like it, but it is not. Actually, in one of Batman's comic books runs, Bruce Wayne's favorite soup is mulligatawny soup.
Oh, you know what? I'm thinking of Puxatawny Phil.
You are.
Easily confusing.
He could also be in a
Similar.
soup, depending on the place. Yeah.
Wow, that I didn't even know that.
There you go. Learn something new every day.
Yep.
Batman's favorite soup. Yeah, ham fact. Oink. All right, so guys, we are talking about She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, Episode 1. We're just going to jump right in. We're going to jump right into spoilers. We're going to mix things up, as is tradition, Garbage Truck on Fire. We're going to save our rating till the very end. So we're going to talk about it, and then we're going to play a game called Guess Your Rating. And we're going to guess each other's rating of the show based on how we talk about it.
All right.
I may or may not have just made that up just now, so it should
like
be fun.
It, though. Yeah.
So we're going to jump into spoilers. We're going to just talk about all of it. I do want to say from the get-go that I feel like this show started off on the wrong foot because its preview phase was rough. People kind of critiquing, having a negative stance on the animation, which we saw there was definitely a progression from subpar animation to, I think it got better, but so many people I think had it stuck in their heads that it was going to be TV show animation, that I really feel like this show started off on the wrong foot. But then I'll be honest, I thought it totally redeemed itself. You know, going into this first episode, everything we went through, we're going to cover a little bit of the, what is it called? A plot? Yes. We're going to cover that plot.
You know, that thing.
That thing that's important. We're going to cover the plot, the story while we're doing it. But before we get into the plot, what did you guys think? What was your energy level going into watching this show? Marcus, we'll start with you.
I was like cautiously optimistic. I was definitely on board with you with the fact that like the CG for when they first revealed that trailer, man, what a nightmare. Like knowing the caliber that Marvel typically has, and unfortunately Marvel is not in good graces with a lot of VFX companies right now.
They're not.
And I think I think at that time it was showing like how much they were, you know, being really pushy on VFX, whatever VFX company, and what they got was what they got.
Yep.
Yeah, it was absolutely rough. Like the uncanny valley on She-Hulk was like the size of America. Like that was that was how terrible she looked in terms of
some
like,
American sized just creepiness.
Yeah. But yeah, no, they definitely fixed it. I mean, I feel like it's still Marvel TV. I don't think it's 100% as good as their movie VFX typically is, but yeah, I mean, they definitely improved it in my opinion. It was, and I came into this like, yeah, I'm gonna watch it. It looks decent.
Yeah.
And then I found out who was going to be in it besides She-Hulk. And I was like, okay, now I'm even more in.
Yeah.
And I guess I won't really say who that is, but
Yeah, we're talking about episode 1.
Well, in the trailers for the show.
Right.
We're talking about what we were
That's
thinking
true.
of the
Yes,
show
yes, yes.
going
You're right.
into
You're
it.
right. You're right. Yeah, so it's open game if you want
Yeah.
to say his name.
Yeah, so Daredevil's in it.
Oh
at some
yeah,
point.
yeah. That was a given.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if this was something you had seen in the back, like
No.
spoiler territory or something you
No.
found online or whatever. So
No.
as we
yeah.
know, you like to
it's-
delve into the dark web of spoilers.
That's
So
fair.
Yeah.
That's fair, but no,
Yeah.
the Daredevil's going to be on the show at
yeah,
some
yeah.
point.
I mean, hey, lawyers of a feather have to flock together. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
As they always say. But
yep, that's how they say it.
but yeah, I was cautiously optimistic, and a little bit more so once I found out that Daredevil is going to be on the show. Now, it remains to be seen how the MCU will handle Daredevil,
Yeah.
because they have mentioned that you're going to see more of a lighthearted side of this character, and so I'm a little bit of concern about that, but I still have faith in it. But in any case,
Mhm.
cautiously optimistic going
Yeah.
into She-Hulk. But Pat.
Yeah. So I watched the first trailer and I was like, yeah, looks fine. And I watched it on my phone and I'm like, all right, I'll wait till the show comes out. Like I didn't get any of the hate on all the CG. I'm like, yeah, it's a Disney Plus TV show. Get over it. Like they're not gonna put the budget like they do in the MCU movies. So I was like, yeah, fine. Okay. Yeah, there's a bunch of haters out there that, like with the internet, then did Disney go back and kind of fix some things? Yeah, which was kind of cool that they listened to that feedback. But like I'm like, okay, it looks fine. I didn't watch it on a big screen or anything. I watched it on my phone, and it looked fine to me. And so yeah, and I like with this show, it's a more of a comedy than it is anything else. So hearing about Daredevil having more of a lightheartedness to his character in this show, it's gonna fit the show. It's gonna make more sense. They're gonna do a fine job with it.
Yeah.
I didn't watch. I think I watched the first trailer for it. I didn't watch any of the other trailers because I'm like, okay, it's a TV show. I don't like spoilers. I see that it's come out. I'll just wait till it comes out. I know nothing about She-Hulk, so it's pretty interesting. I'm like, the past, a few of them, the Disney shows, we had Ms. Marvel, and then we also had Moon Knight. I'm like, I didn't really know much about them outside of the Marvel games. So it'd be very interesting to see those. I didn't really much care for Moon Knight. I cared even less about Ms. Marvel. So that's another reason why I went into this show. I was like, whatever, I'll just watch it when it comes out and form my own opinions. I don't care what anyone else says about the CG. I went in, watched episode 1 of She-Hulk. Episode 1 was fine. I thought the CG was fine. I don't understand what the hate is. I thought it looked Hulk looked like Hulk, and She-Hulk looked like even they made much better animation for her than they did with Hulk. It totally looks like that. But then again, She-Hulk looks like a normal person, whereas Hulk looks like a huge he looks like a Hulk. So the animation is totally fine. If you've ever seen Mark Ruffalo talk, the Hulk looks like Mark Ruffalo talking.
Have you ever seen like the behind the scenes, like when they're filming with him? Like it's Mark Ruffalo in a mocap suit with a little camera in front of his face, and he's got 2 giant Hulk arms on sticks.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's literally
That's hilarious. No, I've never seen that.
I'll have to show you that. And Pat, I'll have to show you the video when they dropped that first trailer, like paying attention to some of the stuff that was like, but granted, seeing the show now looks way better.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I more just observed. I kind of felt like the gifs where someone grabs popcorn and just watches the show. Like I thought people freaking out over the animation, being like, "Oh, it's total garbage," and I was like, I I've yet to see a TV show where they've had to use a lot of heavy CG where it's been like, oh my gosh, amazing. I would say the only one is, and even then, I don't think they do CG heavy as Mandalorian. Like they use the volume. That's as crazy digital as it gets. And it's such a good, high quality, not really CG equipment that they use that it doesn't show. So
A lot of the creatures are.
yeah,
mostly
but they do such a good mix of practical and regular effects. Part of me is like, can we figure that out with, I mean, I understand with like superheroes and like somebody, you don't want to paint the actress green and do like the old school from the 70s and
Lou
80s.
Ferrigno.
Exactly. That would be even worse. But for me, for the most part, I recognized pretty early on, like I grew up in a time when Ally McBeal was a big show. And
Yeah.
I watched some episodes even back in the day, as girly as that was, and found it humorous. So to me, it was like Marvel Ally McBeal with the Hulk. Like I was like, this should be a fun show. So I went in on a positive with a positive slant, and I wasn't disappointed. I thought it was a fun episode, a good start. Gave Patrick his origin story.
Oh my goodness. This the first episode of a show that you don't know who they are and they give you an origin story. You better believe I'm going to love the heck out of this show.
Yeah, I knew you would. I really appreciated how they started it out, and they started in talking about like they were in her office and they were already talking about how she's hulked and she's hulking and blah, blah, blah. And then she breaks the fourth wall and she's like, oh, you want to hear about what happened, the past 3 months, and then goes into it. And the rest of the episode is
totally a She-Hulk thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that's cool. That's like, the fourth wall with She-Hulk. That's really cool that's accurate. And it's a really cool way to have a different show. We're seeing a whole bunch of Disney, Marvel shows, and to have it a little differently like that, it's really cool. And then when she's like, hey, you want to find out how I became She-Hulk? And I'm like, thank you. Let's do it now. Let's not wait till episode 6.
It would have been funny if she'd be like, wait till episode 6 to find out how I became She-Hulk.
I would have flipped the table and ran out.
She's like, you're welcome, Patrick.
Just for you, buddy. Hollywood Bones. Yeah, so we get the origin story. Pretty much they're on a road trip, talking, hanging out. They run into a Sicarian?
Oh, no, wait, hold on.
Sicarian.
What they said, I didn't look it up. They said that there's another family member named Chet. Is that anything? Is he like a Hulk that they're gonna say, or because they just dropped the name Chet?
Hulk is one of the characters I know the least about, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the Hulk, but it wasn't like something that like grabbed me in terms of being into the comics and stuff. So I don't know a whole lot about.
Yeah, and I know even less. So I just know I didn't hear them talk about Chet. I just heard them mention family in general. I feel like the whole time, anytime they were talking about family, it was just in general, and I didn't catch if Chet is a character. But yeah, so they do, while Patrick's looking up Chet, they run into a alien spaceship while they're driving down the road and talking about Steve Rogers' situation in the past. And then they're in a car accident. They pretty much Hulk bleeds on Banner bleeds on Walters, and she goes into green mode. And some people and I at first I was like, are you serious? It's that easy? Just get bled on and you turn into the Hulk? But then I'm like, it's comic books. What do we expect? It's not that important.
It doesn't need to be so grandiose.
Yeah.
His blood is infected with the gamma, and then it infects her blood, and then she has to transform.
Yep.
Okay. Great. Let's move on.
The only thing that I've was just like, wait a second, we're just going to move past that, and it'll probably come back in a later episode. But that ship causes the accident, and then we don't hear about that alien ship the rest of the time. And he's just like, oh, that's just a scare. They just need to talk to me about something. I'm just like, what? Like, we're not gonna. They cause a car accident, and then is it a hit and run? Like, did they just leave? Like, that was the only part that I was like, that's weird. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But what'd you guys think of the opening? Their conversation, the change. What did you think of her becoming the Hulk? Marcus,
go ahead.
or Patrick, or
No,
me.
go ahead, Mark.
Anyone, whoever wants to talk.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I think it worked very well. Talked a little bit more about Captain America's virginity than I'd like to hear about, but it is
That was
what
a
it
hot
is.
topic during that episode.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it was fun. It was funny, but yeah, I mean, in the comics, apparently she or she gets an emergency blood transfusion from Bruce. So this makes more sense to me.
Yeah, that's true.
So it worked for what they wanted to accomplish. It establishes them as good family members, knowing each other and everything. And
the back and forth banter between them was just it
Yeah.
felt so natural.
From the
Gonna s-
beginning.
Gonna start eating Cheetos with chopsticks now.
And then the
I
car
can't-
crash, the Cheetos are just flying through the
Yeah.
air.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I connected with that because I do not like Cheeto fingers. As much as it's fun to lick it, get that, it's gross. Like,
it was hilarious.
Don't
I was
ever really get it
actually
all out.
eating Cheetos during that scene. I'm just like,
Are
man,
you serious?
yeah, it was so like fourth wall meta. I don't know what it was, but it was just like, man, I should be using chopstick, I guess.
Yeah, you really should. Really
Yep.
should be.
If you learn nothing else from She-Hulk today.
Yeah. Eat Cheetos with chopsticks. And then from there, most of the episode is bonding between cousins. Her, Hulk, Banner Hulk teaching Walter's She-Hulk how to be Hulk. And I found the whole back and forth, the training, forcing her to turn in multiple different ways, whether with buzzsaw blades or an air
she's
horn.
like, why do you have this in here? What are you doing?
Yeah. It did seem very convenient to
I feel like if I don't turn, I'm gonna die.
Yeah. That whole thing, I found it very entertaining, very fun. I like the personal touch of, the secret lab there in Mexico was co-built by he and Tony Stark, and they spent some time together. That was a nice little touch. And then, of course, the tiki bar and hanging out there. I thought overall they had great chemistry. What did you guys think of this section of the episode?
Yeah, I thought the back and forth with them when she first turns green, and Bruce is just like, he's like, you settle down, don't get angry, and she's like, why are you talking to me like that? And then Bruce's mind explodes.
Yeah,
and he's like,
wait.
what? You don't have another person in there that you have to battle for 10 years?
Looks like we can skip past all of this.
He was so mad. He was so mad that she didn't have to go through that. Why are you talking to me this way? But yeah, going through that, and then when she's like, her trying to figure out how to change back and forth between that and try to learn that, because the first couple times she didn't realize that she was turning into Hulk, and then she blacked out kind of thing as she was trying to learn her powers, but then I guess her body got used to it, and then so that's why she was like, no, I don't, why are you talking to me that way? Like, I don't it's just me. So and then just like, I think a lot of the like I said, the banter between them, like you could tell that they're family members, the way that they interacted with each other. So I thought it was great. She is like a goofball, and it's funny because she's like an attorney, but she acts this way. Like she's got like a very, very down to earth character and personality. So
sure.
I thought it was like, it's very tongue in cheek kind of thing, where it's her character doesn't fit a typical lawyer, but I think this is great because it's more of a comedy, and she has to portray it like that. So and it's just funny just seeing Hulk like being very, very upset with how fast that she's learning to be Hulk, which I think could be the reason why, like he's smart Hulk, and he's already gone through that and combined Bruce Banner and the Hulk. So when he when his blood gets into her blood, maybe it's that combination he's already had in his blood that really helps her become She-Hulk a little bit faster, and kind of like that's why she doesn't have an alter ego. That's what I got out of it. Like, is that just my interpretation? Maybe. Is it the way that they're trying to tell a story? Maybe not, but it totally makes sense if that would be the case.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like she kind of gives her perspective later on when he's like trying to teach her to control her anger, and she's like, you know how much mansplaining I've had to go through in my life, and how much of this and that and I have to face. You don't have to talk to me about controlling my anger. I've been doing it my whole life. And so I think
she's in that like the buzzsaw room, and he's like, it's all, how do I turn? She's like, it's all anger and fear. And she's like, that's basically the existence of a woman. You know?
Yeah, she makes that comment. And I mean, I think, knowing the people I know, and, just like discussing it with my wife, I think there's something to be said about a woman's ability to deal with that stuff, to multitask emotionally, to be more emotionally mature than a man. It's just kind of a general rule of thumb. So it makes sense to me. It makes sense. So I would say a combo of what you said, Patrick, mixed with the fact that it's just the nature of her character, that it makes sense why she could control things so fast.
And then when she's explaining that to Hulk when they're sitting in the tiki bar, and he's just like, "Huh, okay,
all right." Fair enough.
Makes total sense.
Yeah. Yep. Mark, what did you think about the back and forth training, everything that ensued in the secret lab in Mexico?
I mean, I thought this was good as a way of more bonding between the two characters, especially over something, a commonality that they have, such as hulking out. It was fun to watch when they actually start fighting with each other.
Yes.
That was when things were coming to a head, and Banner is very, he's got that scientific brain. He's like, no, we need to go through this and this and this.
Yeah. And you need to be a hero. You need to do this and that. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, no, I want to go live my life. And I think, she's going to learn that, as much as she tries to live her life, she's not going to be able to 100% live it the way that she used to.
Right.
Obviously. But yeah, I mean, that was hilarious when she peels out on the Jeep, and he's like, you've got the Hulk hanging off the Jeep. Like, he should be able to pick that up like it's nothing. But
I think because they're cousins, that it's a family member, that he wasn't fully enraged, because you saw, like, he was like, when he was throwing that stone, he threw that big huge boulder just a little bit, and then she grabs it and throws it farther than he does, and he's like, well, see what I can do, and he throws it into outer space and sonic boom, so he was holding back. And I think he held back a lot of it because he was just trying to train her. He wasn't trying to hurt her, except for that one time he pushed her off the cliff, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
But overall, like, I enjoyed their chemistry, and it's good that they established some of her, her personality traits against his and everything. So I enjoyed it.
The only thing I didn't understand why. So when he becomes a Hulk, he looks like Bruce Banner as the Hulk. Same haircut, same scruff on his beard and things like that. But when She-Hulk turns, she looks like a totally different person. Long hair, straight hair instead of curly short hair. Her body dimensions are much different. There's, I don't know why they chose to go that route, because the Jennifer Lawrence's, or the actress's name, whatever her name is, she's got some teeth that, like, it doesn't go straight across. She's got, like, just normal teeth. But for She-Hulk, it's like straight, perfect, braced up, just perfect teeth. And so it's not what they did with the Hulk. Hulk has hit what Mark Ruffalo's teeth look like. So some of the things that they made with She-Hulk just didn't make any sense. Do I think that She-Hulk looks amazing? The facial animations, what she does. Does she look much better than the Hulk? Yes, I think it does. But it's just like the characterization from what the actress looks like to what She-Hulk looks like. It looks different to me, and I don't understand why they went that direction.
Yeah, I still definitely see it in the face that it's definitely Tatiana Maslany, but
yeah, that's her name.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what Marvel has really been going for with their TV shows lately, and especially Phase 4, is comic book accuracy. Is a lot more comic book accuracy. At least that's what I've noticed. And so she's basically transforming into you can tell it's still her face, but it's very much a more accurate depiction of She-Hulk going from Tatiana.
And what she looks like.
Okay.
Yeah. My interpretation of it from what and this is just like the impression I get in watching it, is that when they Hulk out, they take more of a form of their, like, an expression of inside, like what they are. So like with
kind of
Banner,
what you do when you make like yourself in a video game. You like, this is what I think I look like.
This is what I want to look like, and this is like an outer view of my inner self and my inner strength and my inner anger, whatever. And I feel like with Bruce Banner, like, he gets way beefier than she does. Like,
sure, yeah,
he beefs out, and then he's got same face, same haircut, like you said, same teeth. But then for her, I think it shows through in her character. She has an inner beauty that is coming out as the She-Hulk, that she doesn't get as beefy. She's more slender but taller, more confident. And the hair is, the people that I know that have curly hair, when they really want to doll up for an event, they straighten it. And I don't know why that is the way it is. Some people think curly hair is good. Some people think straight, but those the people that I've known that have had curly hair and then they straighten it out for an event, like to get really dolled up. So I just feel like it's just her kind of demonstrating her inner beauty through her character is how I've just kind of interpreted it. So
yeah, that's fair. I can get on board with that.
Yeah. And then the last little bit, we transition. She leaves, ditches Bruce and his tiki bar, and returns to lawyer life. And when she's doing her closing comments, she hasn't changed into the Hulk since leaving.
Hold on, they go back to the part where she's in her office, and she's like, "All right, now you're caught up." And then as she's leaving, she's like, "Lawyer show." I'm like, "Oh yeah, this is a lawyer show." So that part I laughed at.
Yeah, and I think that's an indication of that they're really going to lean into the lawyer thing more in the future episodes. Now that they've established how she became the Hulk, what's led to her becoming She-Hulk, it's going to be more lawyer stuff. So we go into the final kind of little section of this episode. She gives her closing comments, and none other than super strength Tahani from The Good Place busts through a wall. I have no idea who she is. Maybe they're going to show us later on, but she pretty much busts up the place, and then the assistant to Walters' character is like, "Hey, you need to Hulk out and take care of this." And she's like, "Oh, I really love these shoes, or I love this dress or whatever."
Yeah, her suit she had on.
Yeah, I really like the suit. She knows she's gonna rip it up, and then she proceeds to beat the living daylights out of this,
but not before Tatiana does like a Liu Kang kick across the courtroom. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, that looked, of all the things people talk about with how things looked before this show started, I'm like, that looked like a CW type of scene.
Yeah.
And I was like, this was a little bit bad. This was the only thing that I didn't like about the show, was this whole scene. I'm like, who is this person? Why are they busting through a courtroom? Why all of a sudden did Jennifer Walters become She-Hulk? Because this may be the first time that she's become She-Hulk. I don't know. They really haven't explained it. Like her, because she's like, who are you? She's like, I'm Jennifer Walters, attorney at law. Like, well, now everyone knows that you're She-Hulk, and Everyone's seen it. So I think that was a weird transition because it didn't seem like this villain was a villain at all, because all She-Hulk had to
lost.
do was
like she was just like, "What? Wait, did I come to? Is this not the right building?
I
Is
know,
this not
yeah.
HR? I was looking for human resources. Have you guys seen human resources?
I don't know. Yeah,
like
it was
kicking-
weird.
yeah.
It was very, very weird. It was just a scene really to impact for She-Hulk and revealing herself for maybe the first time in front of people, and that's what's going to set up the rest of the show. I get it, but it was done in a weird way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're done with that character yet. Because
why get a name like that just for 2 seconds?
Right. So her name is Titania on the show.
Yeah. Sounds super strong.
Yeah. And she is apparently an actual like a rival to She-Hulk in the comics.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I don't think she's done at this point. But we'll see.
That's fair. Yeah, no, I don't.
Maybe
I think
she has
just,
to prosecute her.
Yeah, maybe. I think just like the alien spaceship, that they're definitely going to be back. They can't just have those things show up. Those people and the alien spaceship show up, and then it's like, okay, that's all. It was just there to make them crash.
Honestly, I think this would have benefited from being one of the ones where they dropped 2 episodes.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed. For some reason, I thought 3 episodes dropped on the first day. So when I watched the first episode, I was like, all right, I got 2 more.
Here we go.
And then it didn't go to the next episode.
It was like, please watch The Incredible Hulk with
I
Edward
must be
Norton.
thinking,
it's like, what? I don't want to watch that.
I don't want to do that.
I'm not talking about that.
Nope. All right. So ratings.
Are we guessing each other's ratings?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
All right. Who's guessing first?
I'll guess Mark, and I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10 for you.
Okay. Mark's getting an 8.5.
Is that what you think it is?
All right.
Is that what it really is?
I think I would say that's about right.
All right.
8.5 what?
8.5 busted tiki bars out of.
Dang it! You took mine. That's what I was going to say. That is the perfect setup. Yep,
Nice.
8.5 busted tiki bars. Well,
all right, Mark, you do Lucas.
Lucas, I'm gonna give him. I'm gonna
Ooh,
say
I get a rating.
Yeah, you get a rating. Yes.
Ooh, what are you gonna rate me?
No, I'm gonna say he's gonna give it an 8 out of 10.
You know what? You're close. I was back and forth between 8.5 and 8. So you were close, but it's going to be 8.25 out of 10. 8 point. Yeah, I wanted 8.5, and then after we talked about it, I was like, maybe an 8, and then I was like, but maybe 8. So 8.25 out of 10 buzzsaw blades to the hand.
There you go.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
You would know all about that.
Yeah, that's right. And then Patrick, I'm gonna say you're giving it an 8.5 out of 10.
You're one off. I'm giving this a 9.5 out of 10.
Ooh.
I loved this episode so much. Besides the last 10 seconds of the show, almost leading up to it, because I liked when she turned back into Jennifer Walters. She's like, I want to do my closing arguments, and now I'm ready to do those. Yeah, I thought that was a great way to end the episode. I thought I love sitcoms. I love comedies. I love laughing, and this kept me smiling almost through the entire episode.
Yeah,
and when she left Hulk, I'm like, man, I hope Hulk shows back up, because I loved their interactions with each other. I really hope he does. It would be awesome if it was kind of like a buddy cop thing where they both were in the show. I think that would be great, but we're also getting Daredevil, and we're going to get a lighthearted Daredevil. So I absolutely love this episode. I've watched it twice because I loved it so much. I thought this was great, and I can't wait to watch more of this.
Nice.
So it's 9.5 spandex out of 10.
There you go. That's the secret to the Hulk life. Spandex.
Your best friend.
Yep, that's right. Hulk's best friend is spandex. I totally... What was I? Oh man, the spandex totally chased out of my mind what I was thinking about, and then it left me. I think for me, I really do wish there had been a second episode. I still think I think they need to, because the closing credits are always like 10 to 15 minutes long. I really think they need to up the ante on the length of episodes, especially the first one. I think the first episode should always be 45 minutes minimum. Like, give me an introduction to the character and then their first adventure. I think that's the only reason I was a little conservative with my number, because I did have a good time, but when I look at overall, like Loki and some of the others, I'm like, I need more. There just wasn't enough, but it was a really good episode, and I feel like it's only gonna go up from here. So yep. All right. Well, that is all for our first hulked out discussion of the next MCU show. If you would like to join in on the convo about it, please do some clicking on that old linktr.com/thegmgpod. You can connect with us on Discord, on Twitter, on the YouTubes, TikTok, Facebook. There's all kinds of options. You just click the little link there and you'll go right to wherever it says you will. You just got to read and click, and you'll be good to go. Of course, if you can't toss your attention or a coin to your podcasters, but are still the giving type, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, and Spotify. It helps us reach new joiners through stars, exclamation marks, and your feedback. So let your voice be heard, literally, if you like, at 929 GMG Guys. Alrighty then, Pat and Mark, and the spirit of Ronnie J, along with you, our beloved friends, family, and joiners. Go get your good morning this week, and may God bless and guide your lives as you live, as you work, and as you watch.